بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أمرنا بالتعليم والتعلم وهدانا إلى دين الإسلام، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. صدق الله العظيم. I am presenting this paper titled Mediating Effect of Intention on Zakat Payment Towards Compliance Behavior Among Somali Business Owners. This paper written by two authors, Jama Mohamed and Yusuf Haji Usman. This paper is about Zakat in Zakat compliance in Somalia among the wealth business owners in Somalia. The introduction of this article is Zakat collection and distribution in Somalia is managed by the Islamic charity institution, which is called the NGOs, and government of Somalia have no power to interfere for the collection and distribution of Zakat that is done by the institution called Islamic charity institution NGOs. The Islamic charity institution NGOs play their part in exercising local governance as a substitute of the fragile government structure. Although the Somali Islamic charity sector enjoys a structured organization and can collect zakat in all states of Somalia, still zakat payment among the individuals of the business owners is very low. However, therefore, this Islamic charity organization, it is not more than a zakat center in Somalia. Somalia doesn't have zakat center to collect this obligatory zakat collection. However, the zakat collection in Somalia are done only by the Islamic charity organization. Those are managed purely and fully this collection and distribution of zakat, as well as sadaqah as well. So the government, as I said earlier, the government doesn't have any interference in this matter. And at the same time, the zakat Islamic charity institutions, NGOs, they have offices in all over Somalia. In most of the states, they have offices. Although they have the offices in most of the states, the zakat payment is still among the individual business owners. It is very low. It's very low. Problem statement: Zakat is a mandatory charity that is paid by every Muslim as a part of their duty to the Creator. This highlighted the increasing demand for empirical research examination on zakat payment in the majority of the Muslim states. The practice of different background, large sample from the similar location for generality, and all needed to do it. As a consequence of the occurrence of the poverty in developing countries, a lot of efforts and plans have been put in place by proceeding administration to efficiently fight poverty, but little has been achieved. This study highlighted two major or main objectives. The first objective is to study the test relevance of the factors, attitudes, subjective norms, and engagement towards intention with the compliance behavior. The second objective of this study included the mediating effect of intention on zakat payment to compliance among the business individuals in the capital city of Mogadishu, Somalia. The literature review of this study highlighted compliance of zakat payment is carefully related to the religious obligation. Therefore, individuals who did not pay zakat on business are considered as disobeying his or her religious obligatory. Wahid Ahmed Mohamed Noor 2007. Therefore, this action represents the obedience to the religious obligatory and less pity of the respective individuals. Al-Ghazali, 1998. According to the Kartawi 1998 as well, disobedience to religious obligatory is closely related to the PTO factor. Nur Wahid and Nur 2004 also analyzed the study on the awareness level of paying zakat of business among the professionals and found that the PT and the knowledge of the zakat law of the zakat law greatly influenced compliance of giving zakat. This proven also by the result of the study from Ahmed and Wahid 2005, who found that most individuals were willing to donate zakat due to the internal factor of pity and faith. Still continuing the literature review, another study conducted by the Jama Mohamed and Yusuf Uthman 2017 highlighted that the attitude factor and the perception towards the law enforcement factor significantly supported and influenced intention to compliance with the gap on income. Jama and Uthman Islamic religiosity factor on their study was not also supported and had significant impact on zakat compliance. The author's study revealed that the planned behavior theory is influencing intention as a mediating effect towards compliance and zakat payment. Similarly, a study conducted by Abu Bakr Kamil Muhammad Idris, ETL 2017, the finding discovered the appropriateness of the planned behavior theory in this study behavior intention is developing among the developing countries. Abu Bakr and Kamil Idris 2017, the remaining examined variables directly associated were supported for their studies, while one of the two indirect associations, subjective norms and intention moderated by religiosity, was shown as a significantly. Nevertheless, other examination for a moderating effect of the religious on them association between the attitude and the behavioral intention was not supported. Ahmed Jamal at Al-Qilah Yaqub ETF 2018 found that the findings of this study highlighted the positive association among the specific control and intention because the resources easing condition and self-efficacy were found to be significantly competent to receive control, and practitioners might also involve the CAFL agent as a director to contribute to family CAFL. There are limited studies conducted for civic engagement factor in different countries. Different countries, the USA, India, Japan, Australia, Netherlands, Austria, and China. These are the most studies that conducted for the factor of civic engagement among different studies. The most of the studies were studied within the United States of America. The majority of the researchers was found civic engagement to have a supportive relationship with their other variables associated. Most of the studies were a quantitative method, except two studies such as Sebastian and Sibauri 2019, who employ a mixed method approach for their study. Schmein 2018 incorporated qualitative method to collect for their data. Wang Lu 2018 highlighted that the future researchers might discover civic appointment cover additional hypothetical lessons and mix with additional traditional dimensions from Hofstede 2001. Still continuing the literature review, attitude towards behavior represents the people's internal evaluation, and performing behavior will have a positive or negative effect outcome for them. In general, the more positive one outcome performing the behavior, the more favorable one attitude towards behavior. I sent to Fishbein 1975. The attitude factor here is attitude of individual Muslim towards their religion, towards their obligation of their religion, towards engaging in the voluntary activity, zakat paying, and performing zakat paying. Several studies found attitudes significantly in their findings, and such studies Aiza 1991, Zainul 2008, Ram Jafri 2010, Zainul 2009, Jama Farah Yusuf and Yusuf Uthman 2017, Yusuf Uthman 2018, Said Salisa 2020, Christian 2017, and the people attitude have the positive attitude nevertheless exists paying zakat. Studied by Eisen and Fishman 1975, Eisen in 1991, Zainul in 2018, Ram Rajiv in 2010, Zainul Farah Yusuf 2017, Yusuf Uthman 2018, Said and Salisa 2020, Christian revealed that the more important reference approve or disapprove of the specific behavior, and more of them perform that behavior, the more likely individuals are to perceive greater social pressure towards performing the behavior. This steady theoretical framework is highlighted and drawn as attitude as a first factor, subjective norm as a first, as a second factor, and civic engagement as a second factor. The theoretical framework of this study is all these individual variables of individual factors will lead towards intention or zakat, obeying, and with compliance zakat. This study population and sampling. The total population of this study consists of business owners in Somalia. The total population is 170 business owners in the capital city of Mogadishu, based on the report of the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs, that is 2020. That is where we generate our data. The criteria used for this study is based on the table of G. Morgan 1970, with the sample size used in this study is 100 respondents. The type of sample used in this study is a simple random sampling, SRS. The sample size is clarified and according to the Malhotra 2004. That is sampling frame states that the statistics of features to be contained in the research. The method of data collection for this study is self-administrated survey questionnaire was employed as the main data collection technique, and since selected respondents could fill the survey questionnaire. An authorization letter was attached to the questionnaire survey to seek cooperation from the respondents. So this cooperation letter, the authorization letter, was just to highlight for each respondent that this is actually purely for academic purpose and there is no harm for this. The letter was attached for each set of questionnaire due to the ethical consideration of the study. The quantitative approach for this study is quantitative method. The quantitative methodology for this study use it as a questionnaire survey. The questionnaire survey was filled and constructed based on the research done by Altio, Kenley, and Kovsen, Park and High 2001, and Zainul Kamil 2007. The findings of this study, the results shown that the standardized coefficient for attitude and civic engagement influence compliance behavior, except subjective norms was not supported. The standardized coefficient better attitude was found significantly influence of intention as well with compliance. This finally conclusion of this study reveals as follows. Attitudes was found to have a direct effect towards intention. Subjective norms is found not to support towards intention with compliance. Civic engagement has a significant influence on intention to obey zakat among business owners. Intention was found to have a significant impact on compliance behavior. This study recommended that the future researchers consider assimilating Islamic theories such as theory Imam Abdul Hamid al-Ghazali taught an idea Islamic religiosity and, and its subdimensions of Islamic ethics, moral obligation, since the zakat is one of the pillars of Islam. The study recommended this for the future researchers to employ Islamic theory. Imam Abdul Hamid al-Ghazali taught and ideas assimilating with the theory of planned behavior that is done by majority of zakat studies for last decades. I believe that this study, the future study should focus Islamic theory of Imam Abdul Hamid al-Ghazali assimilating with the theory plan behavior. By Islamic theory will consist of the Islamic elements such as a religiosity. Religiosity is a wide and a big picture, but should have Islamic dimensions such as Islamic Islamic ethics, akhlaq, and moral obligation, and knowledge, Islamic knowledge as well. These can be Islamic dimensions under the Islamic religiosity, and this study suggests for the researchers to focus on that side. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Barakallah.